Hi, everyone. Welcome to live. I'm going to go ahead and find my comments and bring up my video, and then I'll say a proper hello. Let's see if I can find it and see who's out there today. Let's see. Somewhere on here it'll come up. Let's see if we can maybe go here, go down this way. Eventually it pops up. I know I have two people out there. Oh, there, I found it. And let's see, there we go. All right, I'm going to put the camera on and give this a full welcome here. There we go. So hi, everyone. Welcome to Live with Janome. I'm Ann Hine, embroidery software specialist for Janome America. And today I am talking a little bit more about the new Artistic Digitizer version 2 update / upgrade kind of thing. And if you haven't seen it, I've done, this is the fourth in my series of showing the different parts of it. And I think I did an overall one even earlier in maybe the last part of July, beginning of August. So I'm trying to cover as much as I can. There's a lot of new things. So I'm going to do those up through like right now of August. And then in September, we're going to be doing a bit more. We're going to be playing with it a bit more and actually creating and working through it that way. So there'll be more to come with that. Now, let me just explain it a little bit, because I know in the beginning it was a little confusing of how it all works. If you installed or purchased your Artistic Digitizer program or bought a CM17 with it from January 1st until now, you will when you install and you open your program, you get a free update to the 2.0 version. If you're a current 1.7, and it'll go, if you're a junior, it updates to a junior V2. If you're a full, it'll update to a full V2. Those of you who purchased before that, or installed your digitizer before that time period, for the USA, we have special pricing. They've been posting it to our Facebook page here, on our webpage as well. I'm not going to quote pricing here, but you can go there and take a look at that. And it's a limited time offer to get the update to version 2. As for other areas, I know we're a global page, so we have people from all over the world. I just suggest that you check with your customer service in your area. Go to the web page for your area to see what they've offered. I know Canada has theirs running right now. I think Australia might have posted something, and the UK will be doing that shortly. So there's probably other areas as well, but so keep a watch on that. Sometimes when I hear about the specials, I do post them to our full support page, Janome Artistic Digitizer, and that is our new, I'm going to flip this back so you can see it. They've sort of changed, added a little thing. Our page is the Janome Artistic Digitizer community support community. So make sure you're heading over there and checking that out, because we can answer all your questions there. As some people like to say, we have answers 24/7, 300 every day of the year. So some of us have no lives. I guess that's how it is. But anyways, of those out there, have any of you, give me a thumbs up, do any of you have the 2.0 loaded, and have you taken a look at it? So I'm going to wait for a few, see if we had any thumbs up for that. And also if we have any V2 people that have it in the V2. So I'll be watching over here. My comments are up, so if there's anything that you want to ask, it'll be over there. So today I just wanted to cover a few things. I want to go back and cover the color dock again. There's different ways to use the color dock, and I wanted to add a little bit as we go along. So I'm going to go back to that today. I'm going to talk about vertical text. That's our new thing with our text. I really like the vertical text. And there's some things with spacing as well, on not just vertical text, but text itself, and a little bit on loading designs, and the new crosshair feature that you can turn on. I don't know if anybody's played with that yet. Let me get to the software. And then when I'm there, let me turn off, let me get to the right place here. And there we go. And I can close this part over here. All right. So just briefly, please check out the tutorials over here on the right-hand side. These are really short, wonderful tutorials about specific parts of the software. So if you have your V2, go ahead and check those out. The other thing is I have loaded the manual to our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page. So you can go there and scroll down and find it. It might actually be up under featured. If you look across the top at featured, it may be in there. And if you go to the manual, if you haven't, if you want to see what's going on with that, here's our printable help. When you go into the manual, if you go to page 22, let me get this all the way up here, a little bit more. Here we go. If you get up there to page 22, you'll see everything that's new in the program. There we go. Go the other way now. Here we are. So right here are the new features, and there's quick links right here, these highlighted words, where you can go and see more information about it, how it works, so you have a chance to see what's going on with it before you even have the program, so you can take a look. And I really encourage people to participate in the specials as they come up for your country, and move up to the V2. There's some great new features. I started with showing the sketch feature and the things we can do with sketch and our paint stitch. Many of us like to play with paint stitch. Now you can combine both of those things. You can manipulate them more than we could before. So just that alone, to me, is the important part. Now you have to remember the special pricing they're posting right now is for 1.7 full programs going up to a full V2. You have to talk to your dealer about other specials if you're a junior 1.7 and you want to jump all the way up to a full 2.0. Talk to your dealer. They have specials on that as well. So that's how you want to take care of that. All right. So let me get out of here. And the thing is, with the new manual, it can stay open while you're working. You don't have to close it. It just pops down into your tray at the bottom, and I could just move it to the back like this, and it can stay back behind here. Let me make sure everything's working so that it goes back for me. There we go. So now you can see it. So we are on the welcome page. If you're new or you've forgotten, if you can set your default hoop right here so that whenever you're working in the program, it works under the one for your machine. And then you can also change it right on the work page. But this way it always opens under your program right there. All right, I'm going to open this design here, and you might not notice it, but it does have a name right here. And it says JPX/piece. I'm going to open that one. And one of the things I want to show first is right up here, if your designs, you're opening them and they have a name, they now hold the name up here. In the past, when you open something, it said new, and then you could rename it or whatever. But now it opens and it continues to have the same name, which I think it makes things a little easier over there. And when you bring in designs, now I've had this design open several times, so I've ungrouped it before, but if it came in and you tried to select something and it selected everything, then what you would do is while it's selected, you want to right click, and up here it says group. It would say ungroup, and you would click there and then click off your piece, and then your pieces are all loose over here, so you can get them from the sequence window, and then your properties will be over here. And so what they've done now is the properties, the fill and the outline are in like one piece here, and you can switch between them. This doesn't have any outline, so it won't show you the outline. It's right here. The color palette is not here anymore. We're using the color manager over here. But what you can do is, let's say we took this piece here and I want to change the color of that. I'm going to come to the bucket right here in my used color box, and I'm going to left click. And when I left click there, I get the color wheel, and I could use the color wheel and go around like this and pick a color. So let's just say we're going to use this dark purple, and that's what I want that flower to be. And I'm just going to take my cursor and click on the box right here. and it changed just the color of that. If I didn't click right there and I just clicked back on my page, it would change everything that is that pink. Okay, I'm going to undo for again just to show you one more thing. So let's say I go to the bucket. If you don't want to use the wheel, you can come to the swatches right here. And I find these really handy because it does, when you hover over them, it gives you the color numbers. So you may have your favorite. 225 is one of my favorites. That's my Christmas color. Maybe I want that color. I do have my Janome palette chosen here, and then I could just go right here, and now it's that nice red color. But going back into the swatches, in the palette area, when I click on the arrows here, it opens up all the palettes. So it might be preset at RGB for you, but and mine are not in alphabetical order anymore because I've reordered them in the order I like them. I typically like to demo a lot with Janome colors, and then in here, this is Marathon Polyester. I have a lot of those. And then you can see there's other ones down here. Now to add or make your own list of ones rather than having all however many palettes we have in there, I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. If I wanted to change from Janome to Marathon, I would just click here, and maybe I wanted to, and I'm gonna take this really dark color so we can see it, and I'm gonna make that this color here. So this one here will come up as Marathon, but these are still the Janome colors. All right. To change all those at once, I would do the color manager. I could come over here, pick my Marathon, click on the page, come back here, and these should say Marathon. Now I've changed them all to Marathon colors. Okay, so individual colors you can change at the bucket. If you want to change everything all at once, you go to the color manager and it will change everything all at once. Now, I did mention about the palette and the palette order. If you're on a PC, you would go up, you can't see it on my Mac, but you would go under the option of tools, and then you'll have tool options in this right here. And in there, you'll find the next window I'll show you, because on a Mac, you go under Artistic, which is way at the top, which you can't see because it doesn't film that part for some reason. Under Artistic, it's under Preferences. And so when you went to Tools and Tool Options, this is the window you will get. Right here is your palette order. And then you can see I have Janome there, then Marathon, and they're all down in here. And any that I have a blue check mark, this is my default one. It should be at the top of my list. These are all the ones that'll show up in that list. But if I pick another, in any of those, if I want to move them around, say I would like this this one here, Isacord, I want it ahead of Hilo, I can left click and drag, and I can move it up. If I pick something near the bottom, maybe I have Filtech Glide. Somebody was asking about that the other day. We do have, oh, maybe they're thinking in the machine. We do have Filtech. I have it chosen there. If I want to bring that up closer to the top of my list, I can just hold it up here and it scrolls up, and I could put it anywhere. Maybe I'll put it right here. So it's about the sixth one down. Okay, so it won't show all these ones that are not checked when I go into my into the palette and look at the bucket, and double check and make sure that you're clicking on OK. There we go. All right, so that's how you work with the colors. It's a little different. I know we're all used to, change is hard sometimes, but give it a try, play with it a little bit. If you go into the printable help and you look at what's new, you can, there is an area on the color manager, so you can go ahead and click there and it'll explain more about the color manager. There's a lot more to it. I think that will help us with our designing. So I really encourage people to go ahead and do that. All right. And since I made changes to this, when I go to close this up here, if I wanted to save those changes, I would click save and it would save it to that name. And I don't want to save it, so I'm just going to leave it and it's all set right there. So that's how you would work with that. Okay. Now let's talk about well, actually, let's talk about vertical text. Let me see where, oh, we're doing good on time, of course. So I'm going to open a new window, and I have mine set so that it always opens my biggest hoop on my CM17. There's my CM17. I can also, let me go back here and look here as well. I have the browse function, and I love using browse because down at the bottom, there's my CM17, and I can access anything in my that I've saved to my machine. I can look at my USB drives that are in there if I have either one plugged in, and built-in samples. These are all the designs for your CM17, which I won't click on because it takes a little bit for them to load. And look at all these gingerbread men. Something is coming. I'm just going to tell you that. Something yummy is coming. So I like to do that. I also have an S9, and when I have that turned on, I can see both of my machines. In a classroom setting, when we have lots more CM17s, I can see everybody's CM17 on my computer. So make sure you go in and name your CM17 so you're not confused in a classroom setting. All right, let's go back to the new page and talk about lettering. Down here is our lettering and our text. So we have text and monogramming. We're going to talk about text first. There we go. I'm going to click on that. It opens up our toolbox at the top. Here's where I would type my text. These are the different fonts that I would have. The TT ones are true type fonts. And then as I scroll, these are the built-in XPG fonts. These are pre-digitized fonts here. I can pick any of those. And I'll show you a shortcut as we go along. Here's the new spacing. So we can get some spacing. And then over here under placement, we're going to find vertical text. But I'm going to leave it horizontal for right now. Anywhere you click, you'll get the little cursor. So I could start clicking out here and typing what I want, or I could click in here and start typing. And I'm just going to make sure my little cursor is up there. And I'm just going to put, oh, let's do this. Because here it is, back to school in my area. Now, I can continue to type, in Delaware, something like that. If I want to do another line, I could just click down here and start my next line. There we go. If I make a spelling mistake, say I need to go back to kids are in school in Delaware, I just click it. Up here in my box, I can use my arrow keys to go back to make a correction, or I can just, if I want to delete something. Okay, kids are back in school. I'm a terrible speller sometimes, so I do have to check. I'm going to zoom in close like this, and I'm going to select, go to the selection tool to turn off my tool, and I'm going to bring, well, let's start it with this one. There we go. We can use our alignment tools to line those up, but this one here, I'm going to go back to my text so I can open up the text window. Okay, come on, text window. There we go. Up here, I'm going to go back to the placement, and I'm going to make my screen a little bigger here. There we go. And click on horizontal, and there's vertical. Boom, it makes it vertical for me. Look at that. How nice is that? And then if I wanted to play with the spacing, let me click off of that just for a moment, just to see the spacing in there. All right, if I wanted to change the spacing, I can select that, select my text box, my tools come up, and in here in spacing, I can scroll with my mouse wheel, or I can input numbers, and I think I'm getting them pretty close. I'm going to hit select so we can see them. They've come a little bit closer together. If I want to not have an outline, I can click off the outline. Now I just have a fill. If I want just the outlines, I can make sure I select the outline, and now I have outlines. If I want the fills, whoops, not that one. Let's select this again and add the fill. So you can do all of that with it and change the spacing between it. That new spacing is really nice because it, let's open this up and get it. It gives you a number in here. So it's easier for you, I think, precision-wise, to try that instead of trying to move the individual ones, it moves and makes it much easier to have them closer together. So if I click back in here, you can see them getting closer individually like that. Now they're overlapping a little bit. And when they overlap, it does have the thing where it loses the, let me make it go the other direction. With your wheel. There we go. So I do like to work with my mouse wheel. Some people like to use your trackpad. You can do the same thing on your trackpad using your gestures and things like that, okay? Definitely, I think people are going to like using this instead of before we only had a way to like drag it down, but it didn't really, we still had to put them in line. They didn't go into a nice line of text just as we have there now. So that's really fun. And of course, there's other tools up here. We'll be playing with these as we go along. Let me show you that shortcut about the text up here. So I'm going to take this one and I'm actually going to just make it like really big. Let's see. There we go. All right. So you can see it. Now, if I click in here and then I click again, I can scroll with my mouse wheel and scroll through all the different fonts that are there. And then let me take you up to the ones where the true type, now these are true type. These are the, we'll select this one. These are the pre-digitized. Sometimes the pre-digitized ones will come in a little cleaner than a true type font, but you can get true type fonts out there in the marketplace. There's some sites called, there's one dafont.com, and that's DAFONT.com, where you can download a font, and then you don't add it into the program, you add it into your computer. You install it into your computer. You will see it in your program. You will see it in a Word document or anywhere you have text. You will see the ones that you've brought in. And just like I have some here, we'll go back to my true type fonts. Let's see here. I think bubblegum is one of them. Sometimes they have different ways they come in. They may say DA at the beginning, but before you install them, look at the name of them so you'll be able to find them in your list, okay? So you'll be able to, sometimes they come in alphabetically, but sometimes their name has something different in front of them and it'll come in that way. Okay, so I have back to school as one and this one as a different font in there. All right, so that's lettering fun. I think everybody's going to enjoy that. What I want to show you is the new feature of the crosshair that goes across the screen of your machine. If you go under View, right up here, we have a new tool called Crosshair, and I'm going to click on it, and it puts a crosshair on my cursor, which seems a little annoying at times, but one of the things, let's do my digitize outline shape. Let's say I was going to create, well, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I am going to go back up here and turn it off. And I'm going to open a new page and I'm going to change my hoop to this square one here. This is good. And then I'm going to, I can do this two ways. The first way, I'm going to do it with the crosshair on. I'm going to pick my digitize outline shape tool and I'm going to pretend I'm making a edge-to-edge quilting design. Now, you know when you are doing an edge-to-edge design that you want it to start and end on the same plane. Now, I'm going to zoom in so I can see this much better. With my crosshair, I can see that there's where the start of my design is. Now, I did put it right on the line, but I know it's going to be right there. If I had this up here, that maybe that's not, well, let's end it up there. Oops, yeah, say I ended it down here, it doesn't match that up there. So I would need to select my design, edit nodes, and then I could drag this node up here to the line and then end it there. So that now I know they're connected. You see how that worked? so they're on the same plane. Now you could do it with lines that you're working with, but if you are working, let's go back a page. We're working with letters, possibly, let's do this. Let's select this. I'm going to right click and break apart. There we go. So now all my letters are separate letters, but if I select a letter, let's go to view and turn on the crosshair. And I wanted to move this letter around somewhere and I wanted to align it. I could use the crosshair to help me align that letter. Of course, I wouldn't do it this way, but if I had a design, I might do parts of a design that way to help line it up. And I can see, oh, they're not quite all on the same plane, the same line going across. I would have to fix that. Let's look at something like this here. And I'm just going to play with a couple parts of this design. I'm going to pull that out over here and I'm going to copy paste it. And I'm going to copy paste it again. There we go. So if I turn on my under view, my crosshair, and I want to take this point of my design, let's select my little guy here and get him in here. And then I can see like, oh, let's see, maybe I need to move him up. I can see where he's landing. And I can use my cursor to put that point like right there, if that's where I want it. Maybe I want it to be right up here so that this edge, this little point is right on there. So this is where my cursor comes in handy. Then maybe I'm going to grab this guy and bring him up here, and I want him to touch right there. So now I have something to guide me or to align. This is going to be really handy. I think at first for me it was a bit annoying because it was like, oh, it's following me around. But then I just ignored it. And when I wanted it, it was there. You don't have to have it on all the time. You could come up here and you could turn it off. It does not have a quick key for it. So you do have to come up here to turn it on and off. At least I don't think it has a quick key. Let me see if we could double check in here. I think it's near the end of our list really quick, because usually when it has the quick key, it has a, let's see, it has a little thing up there. It shows you what it is. Supporting override barcode, printouts, convert. I think it's at the bottom. Limitless undos. I love that part. Well, it's here somewhere. Crosshair somewhere. But I think if it had one, when we were in here under view, see how when I'm under view, Stitches has one, preview has a quick key, full screen has a quick key, but this one does not. So that's where you would have to turn it on and off. You'd have to go up under view and turn it on and off just like that. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to, if anybody has any questions, I'm going to go back to the other screen. Let me get this back up here. Go back here. All right, there we are. I'm going to wait for just a second. You guys are so quiet. There's no questions under there. That's hopefully I didn't miss any. So if you have questions, you can put them there. Remember, you can go ask over on our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page. There's people have been posting. I know Peter Barrett's been posting some beautiful things that he's done with the new program. So make sure you can search his name, or you can scroll down and see the different things that he's posted on what you can do with the program. And I really encourage you to find the manual. If you haven't made a decision, take a look at what's in there. There's a lot of new things that they've added to this program. And there's so much, I just can't wait to play with more of them. I've just been doing my basic things here to get all this learning out, but then we're jumping in September and we're going to play with some parts of it so you'll be able to see it in action. All right. Okay, I'm going to let everybody go. I think it's almost the weekend, and here in the United States, this is our Labor Day weekend coming up. And my oldest has a birthday just after Labor Day, which is kind of interesting, right? luckily I didn't labor during Labor Day so many years ago. And so we'll be probably celebrating a little bit over the weekend. So anyway, have a great rest of today and have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back next week, September 4, I can't believe it. And we'll have some more fun. We're going to be doing basics and beyond. And I'll be doing a review of basics. And I think I have a little new project, just something small in there to show you what to do. Okay? Just a little secret thing. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for joining me in the studio, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.